Good morning, everyone. This book is called Recycle by Gail Gibbons. There's a little recycling symbol. More and more garbage. Every day, people throw away more trash. As the world population increases, more people throw more trash away. Garbage trucks come to pick it up, but where does all this trash go? Where does the garbage truck take all of the trash? Most of it is hauled away to sanitary landfills. A landfill is a place where garbage is dumped in heaps from garbage trucks. Some sanitary landfills are lined on the bottom with a layer of clay soil covered with plastic. So there's plastic lining and all of the trash, layers and layers and layers. There's a dump truck throwing the trash in, or the trash truck. Bulldozers push the garbage into neat piles. Then they cover it up with dirt so that it won't smell, and so that animals and bugs will stay away. So they bury the trash. Most people don't want landfills near where they live, and besides, there's so much garbage now that in many places there isn't enough room to bury all of it. Where can it all go? We're not going to have enough room for all of the trash if we keep throwing things away. What can we do? One solution is to cut down on the amount of trash we make. We can do this by recycling some of our garbage to make it into new things. Recycling means reusing materials instead of throwing them away. You can see they have paper, glass, cans, and some other things. The plastic, we do plastic here. You can do cans, we learned about that. Some places take glass. We can't recycle glass at school, but some places can recycle glass. Paper. It takes a lot of trees and energy to make paper. In fact, people in the U.S. cut down 850 million trees to make paper products each year. When the trees are cut down, they're turned into wood chips. So they go from the beautiful forest, they cut them down into teeny tiny pieces, just like from the Lorax story. The pulp is spread out onto moving screens of little pieces they're spread out to thin layers. When the layer of fibers dries, it becomes paper. Newspapers, boxes, magazines, and many other things are made from paper. When these things are through being used, they shouldn't be thrown away. What should we do? Yeah, we should recycle. Most towns and cities have recycling centers where old paper can be dropped off. And some places, trash collectors will even pick up the old paper and take it away for recycling. Old paper can be turned back into the pulp, the little fibers, and they wet them, and made into new recycled paper, using less energy than it does to produce new paper from raw materials. Recycling paper saves trees and forests, which make oxygen and help keep the air clean. Saving forests protects the homes of many animals, too. Glass. It takes lime, soda ash, and sand called silica to make glass. These three elements are mixed together and heated at a very high temperature to make a glassy liquid. Measured amounts, sometimes dyed so they're colored into different colors, and they're dropped into forming machines where the liquid hardens to make bottles and jars. Many products come in glass bottles or jars. Sometimes when they're through being used, they're just thrown away. It would take thousands of years for them to break down into a landfill or to biodegrade into a landfill. Instead, these bottles and jars could be reused or recycled. Many bottles are returnable. A small deposit is paid when the bottles are brought. When they are returned, the deposit is paid back. Most of the time, the bottles are sent back to the company that made them, where they are cleaned or sterilized and refilled. Sometimes the bottles are recycled into new glass. So you can return them to be reused. You can return them to the store or a recycling center, and they can wash them and reuse them, or they can break them up and turn them into new things. It takes much less energy and creates less pollution to make new glass from old glass. They crush it up, they remelt it, and then they pour it into forming machines and stamp it into new glass products. The sand, lime, and soda ash don't have to be dug again, which would waste precious natural resources and destroy the forest and fields. So they have to destroy more trees. Cans. Metal cans. Most cans are made from aluminum. It takes many energy resources and creates pollution to produce pure aluminum. First, a mineral called bauxite is mixed with soda ash and lime. When the mixture is put under pressure, aluminum is left as a byproduct. Then the aluminum is heated and poured into molds to make cans. Many products, such as soda and foods, are sold in aluminum cans. Often, when the cans are empty, they are just tossed away. It takes about 500 years for an aluminum can to biodegrade or to break down into a landfill. But these aluminum cans can be reused if you recycle them. Like glass bottles, many cans are returnable for a deposit refund. That means they'll give you some money if you take them back, because they would rather recycle them. So they cut up the cans and then make them into some new cans or some new things. And here it shows them being pressed into thin sheets of recycled aluminum. The sheets can be sold to be made into the new cans, and it takes much less energy and creates much less pollution if you recycle them. It saves the trees and the forest and keeps the land clean. Plastic. We use a lot of plastic. Plastic bottles, plastic bags, plastic plates, and plastic containers. Most plastic is made from molecules called polymers, which are derived from petroleum. You've probably heard of petroleum. The plastic is heated, sometimes dyed or colored, and poured into molds. A big problem with plastic is that it doesn't biodegrade. It doesn't break down. It can last forever. Instead of being allowed to fill landfills, litter the roadsides, and harm the wildlife or the animals, plastic can be recycled and used again. Recycle. Like glass bottles and aluminum cans, some plastic bottles can be returned for money. These bottles will be sent away to be recycled into new plastic products. First, they clean the old plastic. Then they chop it up, melt it down, and mold it into new recycled products. Recycling plastic saves natural resources such as oil and prevents pollution caused by the manufacturing of plastic. So again, it helps to stop some pollution, creates less pollution, and it uses less energy.